The internet is on fire. And fans can't stop talking about the jaw-dropping scandal that has ripped through the love and hip-hop Atlanta world like a hurricane. In the dead of night, an anonymous source dropped a bombshell, a steamy, late-night hotel video allegedly featuring Kendra Robinson and Kirk Frost in a situation no one ever expected to see. Within minutes, the footage spread like wildfire across social media, with hashtags trending globally and millions of curious eyes trying to get their hands on the clip. Screenshots, blurred stills, and breathless commentary flooded Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Fans are shocked, friends are whispering in private group chats, and enemies, well, they're already sharpening their knives. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could prepare anyone for young Jock's reaction. Witnesses say the reality star went from disbelief to rage in a matter of seconds, his voice shaking as he demanded answers. Was it betrayal? Was it a setup? Or is this just another twisted chapter in the tangled web of ATL's messiest love triangles? As the whispers turn into accusations and the receipts start piling up, one thing is crystal clear. This isn't just gossip anymore, it's war. And the fallout is about to get ugly. It all began just hours after the footage hit the internet, when young Jock was spotted pacing outside a well-known Atlanta lounge, phone pressed tightly to his ear, his expression a cocktail of disbelief and fury. Onlookers said he looked like a man who had just had the ground ripped out from under him. The moment the video appeared on his feed, he reportedly froze, staring at the grainy clip of Kendra, the woman he had stood beside through thick and thin, and Kirk Frost, who he considered an old friend, in what appeared to be an intimate, late-night setting inside a luxury hotel suite. The whispers were deafening, the captions under the reposts merciless. "This can't be real," Jock muttered under his breath, his mind racing between denial and the creeping suspicion that maybe, just maybe, the betrayal was real. Within minutes, his phone exploded with messages, friends, cast members, even producers from the show, all wanting a reaction. "Bro, you seen this? Tell me it ain't true, man. We got cameras rolling if you ready to talk." Every ping on his phone felt like another jab to the gut. Meanwhile, the streets of ATL were alive with speculation. Some claimed the clip was old and taken out of context. Others swore they recognized the decor of that hotel room from a recent Frost family getaway. A few diehard fans insisted it had to be a deepfake, but those voices were quickly drowned out by the tidal wave of gossip and messy online debates. In the midst of this storm, Kendra stayed silent, which only poured more gasoline on the fire. Jock, on the other hand, wasn't about to keep his mouth shut. That night, in a dimly lit restaurant where cameras just happened to be rolling for the latest season of Love and Hip Hop, Jock confronted Carly Red, who had been grinning from the moment she walked in. "Don't look at me like that, Carly," Jock snapped, sliding into the booth across from her. "You think this is funny? You think my life falling apart is entertainment?" Carly leaned back, crossing her arms, her smile never faltering. "Jock, baby, it's a TL, everything's entertainment. But you gotta admit, that video, it's got the streets talking." Jock slammed his palm on the table, drawing stares from nearby diners. "That's supposed to be my wife, Carly. My wife. And that's Kirk. You know how deep that cut goes." Carly's eyes softened for a split second before she leaned in, lowering her voice. "Then you better find out if it's real before you go burning bridges you can't rebuild." Her words stung, not because she was wrong, but because Jock knew deep down he didn't have the full story yet, and he was terrified of what the truth might be. While Jock wrestled with his emotions, across town, Kirk Frost was in his office, at the Frost Bistro, surrounded by his inner circle, phone buzzing nonstop. "Man, they acting like they caught me on tape doing something criminal," Kirk said, trying to play it cool, but the beads of sweat on his forehead told another story. His wife, Rashida, stood off to the side, arms folded so tightly it looked like she was holding herself together by sheer willpower. "Kirk," she said slowly, "you need to tell me right now if what's in that video is real. Because if I find out from the blogs before I hear it from you, it's over." The room went silent. Kirk's voice shifted uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. Finally, Kirk shook his head. "It's not what it looks like. I swear on everything, Rashida, it's not." But Rashida wasn't convinced. "You've said those exact words before, and we both know how that turned out." Meanwhile, on social media, hashtags like hashtag Kendra Kirk tape and hashtag JOC meltdown were trending. Fans dissected every frame of the video, zooming in on blurred reflections, comparing timestamps to known schedules, and even matching Kirk's outfit to a shirt he wore in a recent IG story. The level of detective work was intense, and every new discovery sparked a fresh wave of outrage and commentary. Back at his condo, Jock sat with his head in his hands, his friend Scrappy trying to calm him down. "Look, brr, you can't just go off the deep end without knowing the facts. We've all had messy rumors before." Jock looked up, eyes bloodshot. "This ain't no rumor, Scrap. That's my wife in that video, and Kirk ain't no stranger to stepping out." Scrappy shook his head. "Yeah, but you know how these producers work. They love stirring the pot. Could be somebody trying to get in your head before filming starts." Jock took a deep breath, but his hands still trembled. "If this is some setup, I'm burning the whole set down." "But if it's real," he trailed off, unable to finish the sentence. Just then, his phone buzzed again, this time with a message from an unknown number. It was a single line: "Meet me at the Peachtree Hotel if you want the truth." Jock stared at the screen, pulse quickening. He didn't know if it was a trap, a prank, or the key to unraveling this nightmare, but he knew one thing for sure: he had to go. Without another word, he grabbed his jacket, ignoring Scrappy's protests, and headed for the door, determined to get answers, no matter how ugly they might be. The night air outside the Peachtree Hotel was thick with Atlanta humidity, but Jock barely noticed as he pulled up in his matte black SUV, parking haphazardly by the valet stand. His mind was a whirlwind, every worst-case scenario flashing before his eyes. Every memory of late-night talks with Kendra, now tainted by the image of her in that leaked footage. The neon lights of the hotel's grand entrance glowed over him like a stage spotlight, as if the city itself was watching what he'd do next. He stepped out, adjusting his cap low over his eyes, trying to keep his face hidden from the phones already pointed his way. "That's him, young Jock," someone whispered from across the sidewalk, their voice dripping with curiosity. Jock ignored it, his focus locked on the text message burned into his brain. Inside the marble-floored lobby, the air was cool and unnervingly quiet, save for the soft hum of the elevator. A woman in oversized sunglasses and a silk scarf sat on one of the plush couches, scrolling on her phone. When she looked up, Jock froze. It was someone he hadn't seen in years: Shay Johnson. Jock's voice was low but sharp. She smirked. "You came. I wasn't sure you'd have the guts." He walked over, his sneakers squeaking against the polished floor. "You sent that text?" Shay nodded. "And before you start accusing me of playing games, know this: I'm not the one you should be mad at. But I've got information that might make you see things differently." Jock crossed his arms. "Start talking." Shay glanced around the lobby before leaning closer. "That video. It's not what you think, but it's also not innocent. Let's just say Kendra was meeting Kirk for a reason, and it wasn't about romance. At least not at first." Jock's stomach tightened. "Then what was it about?" Shay hesitated. "I'll tell you everything, but not here. Too many eyes. Come with me upstairs." Against his better judgment, Jock followed her into the elevator. The ride up was silent except for the faint elevator music that somehow made his skin crawl. On the 18th floor, Shay led him to a room at the far end of the hall, sliding a keycard through the lock. Inside, she tossed her bag on the bed and went straight to the minibar, pouring herself a drink. "You remember when Kirk was having those money problems last year?" she began, her tone almost casual. "Well, turns out Kendra was helping him with a legal situation. You know she's a lawyer. But somewhere along the way, somebody decided to spin the whole thing into a scandal. That footage, it's real, but the narrative, totally manufactured." Jock stared at her. "You expect me to believe they just happened to be in a hotel room together, late at night, looking like that, and it's all business?" Shay shrugged. "I'm saying there's more to it than you know. And I'm saying the person who leaked it isn't either of them." Jock felt a flicker of hope, but it was tangled with suspicion. Then Shay's smirk returned. "That's the million-dollar question, and I've got a pretty good idea. But you're not gonna like it." Before she could answer, there was a loud knock at the door. Jock tensed. Shay froze, then slowly moved to the peephole. Her eyes widened. "Oh, you're definitely not gonna like this." She stepped back, and Jock took her place, peering through the small circle of glass. Standing in the hallway, looking furious and ready to explode, was Rashida. Jock's mind raced. Why was she here? Had she been following him, or was she here for Shay? Before he could decide whether to open the door, Rashida's muffled voice came through loud and clear. "I know y'all in there, and we're gonna settle this right now." Jock and Shay exchanged a look, the air between them charged with tension. This was about to go from bad to explosive, and Jock wasn't sure if he was ready for what Rashida was about to say. JOC single quotes as hand hovered over the door handle. His pulse pounding so hard he could feel it in his temples. Shay stood back, arms folded, watching like she was front row at a sold-out drama show. With one deep breath, Jock swung the door open. Rashida barged in without waiting for an invitation, her heels clicking against the floor like a judge's gavel. Her face was set in that unreadable, dangerous calm, the kind that always came before a storm. "You," she pointed at Jock, "need to tell me why I had to follow you here like you're some kind of suspect. And you," she turned her glare to Shay, "need to tell me why you're playing messenger in other people's marriages." Shay smirked, unfazed. "Relax, Rashida. Nobody's playing. I was just explaining to Jock that this whole mess isn't what it seems." Rashida stepped closer, her voice dropping low and sharp. "You think I don't know that? You think I don't know my husband? The problem is, Shay, I don't know who I can trust right now, and seeing you two up here together isn't helping." Jock threw his hands up. "I didn't ask to meet her. She texted me, said she had information. And right now, I'll take answers from anywhere I can get them." Rashida's eyes softened slightly, but the fire was still there. "Then you should know the leak didn't come from Kirk. It didn't come from Kendra, either. It came from inside the show." Jock blinked. "Inside? You mean, production?" Rashida nodded slowly. "Think about it. We've all been quiet lately, no major drama, nothing to keep viewers hooked. Then out of nowhere, boom, a scandal with just enough truth to make it believable." Shay cut in. "That's what I've been trying to say. They're manufacturing chaos, and we're the puppets." Jock paced the room, running a hand over his head. "So they played me. They played all of us. But why Kirk? Why Kendra? Why me?" Rashida hesitated, then sighed. "Because your marriage and Kirk's past make for a perfect storm. You two are walking headlines." Before Jock could respond, his phone buzzed. A new notification popped up, an Instagram DM from a burner account, containing a short video clip. He hit play, and the grainy footage showed a shadowy figure handing over a flash drive to someone in a dark parking lot. The audio was muffled, but one phrase cut through clearly. "This will break the season wide open." Jock's stomach dropped. "We need to find out who that is," he said, his voice steady but low. Rashida crossed her arms. "I already know. And if I'm right, it's someone you ain't gonna want to go after, because they've been in your circle for years." The room went dead silent. Jock stared at her, searching her face for the name she wouldn't say. Shay broke the tension with a bitter laugh. "Oh, he's gonna find out, Rashida. Whether you tell him now or he drags it out of somebody later, this won't stay buried." Rashida glanced at her watch, then at Jock. "Meet me at Frost Bistro tomorrow morning. I'll bring proof. But until then, keep your head cool. They want you to blow up so the cameras can catch it." Jock nodded reluctantly, but inside, his rage was boiling. Whoever set this up wasn't just playing with his marriage, they were playing with his name, his reputation, and his peace. And he wasn't about to let that slide. The morning at Frost Bistro was anything but ordinary. The usual hum of clinking dishes and soft chatter was drowned out by the tense silence hanging over a corner booth in the back, where young Jock sat with his jaw clenched, a black baseball cap pulled low to hide the fury in his eyes. Rashida slid into the seat across from him, a manila envelope in her hand like it was a loaded weapon. "Before I open this," she began, her voice steady but laced with warning, "you need to be sure you're ready to know who did this. Because once you know, there's no going back." Jock didn't blink. "I've been ready since that video hit my phone." Slowly, Rashida opened the envelope and slid a stack of glossy photographs across the table. Jock's breath caught when he saw the first image, a clear shot of Carly Red, in the same parking lot from the burner video, shaking hands with one of the show's producers. The next photo showed Carly handing over what looked like the exact same flash drive. "Carly." Jock's voice cracked between disbelief and anger. "She's been laughing in my face this whole time." Rashida nodded grimly. "She sold the footage for a payout and a bigger storyline. Production wanted a spark, and she gave it to them." Jock's hands curled into fists. "She went after my wife, my marriage, and Kirk too. That's blood to me." Rashida leaned forward, her tone urgent. "That's why you need to be smart. You go off now, she wins. The cameras catch you looking like the hothead, and she gets the sympathy. But if you play this right, you can flip it on her." Jock's mind raced, replaying every smirk, every sly comment Carly had made over the past week. The betrayal cut deep, not just because of the footage, but because Carly had been part of his circle. For years, "I'm not letting her skate on this," he muttered. "Oh, you're not," Rashida assured him. "But you're gonna do it on your terms." Just then, the bistro's door swung open, and in walked Kirk with Kendra trailing behind. Jock froze, his emotions in a tangled knot. Kendra's eyes met his, glassy and hesitant. She slid into the booth beside him, her voice low. "I didn't cheat on you, Jock, I swear to God. Kirk called me about legal help, and it was supposed to be confidential." Carly found out and twisted it into something else. Jock searched her face, looking for cracks, but all he saw was exhaustion and fear. Kirk chimed in. "Man, I've done dirt in the past, but this ain't that. You know me." Jock's chest rose and fell, his anger simmering into a dangerous calm. "Then we take this public together." Kendra nodded, relief flickering in her eyes. Rashida placed a hand on the table. "Then we're all in agreement, but we do it smart." The plan formed quickly. A joint sit-down interview. Exposing Carly and the producer's scheme, dropping the receipts live for the world to see, but deep down, Jock knew Carly wouldn't take it lying down. As he stepped out of Frost Bistro later that day, a black SUV pulled up to the curb, the tinted window sliding down to reveal Carly herself, smiling like she'd been waiting for him. "You really think you're gonna win this, Jock?" she called out, her voice sweet and poisonous all at once. "This is my city, my show, and you just made the biggest mistake of your life." The SUV peeled off before he could answer, leaving Jock standing on the sidewalk. The war now officially declared. And just like that, the battle lines were drawn. Young Jock stood there on the sidewalk, the city buzzing around him, but his mind was locked in on one thing: the fight ahead. This wasn't just reality TV drama anymore. This was personal, raw, and real in a way that would either destroy him or redefine him in front of millions. Carly's smug words echoed in his head, like a taunt. "This is my city, my show." But Jock wasn't about to back down. Not after the betrayal, not after the sleepless nights replaying that video in his head. Not after seeing the proof of who was pulling the strings. In the coming days, the world would watch as alliances shifted, secrets surfaced, and the true cost of fame bled into friendships, marriages, and reputations. Was Kendra telling the truth? Was Kirk really innocent? And just how far was Carly willing to go to protect her crown as ATL's messiest queen? The receipts were ready. The players were in position. And somewhere, in the shadows of production offices and backroom deals, the people who orchestrated this scandal were watching, waiting, and probably already planning their next move. The cameras might catch the smiles and the shade, but behind every smirk was a strategy, and behind every teardrop was a truth waiting to explode. Now it's over to you. Do you think Kendra and Kirk are really innocent, or is there more to the hotel footage than they're admitting? Was Carly the real mastermind, or just a pawn in a bigger game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over. And if you want to be the first to catch the next twist in this ATL storm, make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a single messy update. Trust me, what's coming next will make this look like child's play. Stay tuned, the real drama hasn't even started. Got it? You want to extend the script by around 1,000 more words to bring it closer to your target length. I can add an extra drama-heavy paragraph that fits naturally after the current ending, pushing the tension even further and giving you more runtime. But just when it seemed the drama was set to explode on camera, the streets started whispering about a second video, one allegedly showing a late-night meeting between Carly and an unknown man outside a gated mansion. The clip was blurry, the audio distorted, but the outline of the man's jacket matched the one worn by a high-ranking network executive just a week earlier. Fans went wild with theories, claiming Carly wasn't just stirring the pot for storylines. She was cutting deals to control the entire narrative of the season. Jock, upon hearing about the rumored second tape, felt that familiar fire rise in his chest. If Carly was aligning herself with the network, it meant every move he made, every word he spoke, could be twisted against him before it ever reached the public. That night, instead of going home, Jock drove aimlessly through the city, the skyline flashing past as he replayed the events in his mind. He thought about Kendra's trembling voice when she swore she was innocent, about Kirk's desperate insistence that he hadn't crossed the line this time, and about Rashida's warning to play it smart. In the middle of it all, a single thought: Nor did him. Maybe the truth didn't matter anymore. Maybe in this game, perception was everything, and the one who told the story first controlled the ending. Pulling into a quiet parking lot, Jock took out his phone and started typing a message to a contact who owed him a favor that could expose not just Carly, but the entire network's hand in the chaos. He didn't know yet if he was ready to go nuclear, but with every second that passed, the temptation grew stronger. In ATL, drama wasn't just entertainment, it was survival, and Jock was done playing defense. And here we are deep in the heart of a scandal that's got Atlanta buzzing, the internet in flames, and fans questioning everything they thought they knew about young Jock, Kendra, Kirk, and Carly. But let's be real, this isn't just a headline or a trending hashtag. This is betrayal, strategy, and survival playing out in real time, with everyone trying to control the story before the story controls them. Think about it. If Carly really did leak that first tape, and if the whispers about the second clip are true, then she's not just stirring drama, she's orchestrating a full-on takeover. And if Jock goes public with those receipts Rashida handed him, the entire love and hip-hop Atlanta world could flip upside down overnight. Friendships could be shattered beyond repair, alliances torn apart, and the people you thought were the villains might suddenly start looking like the victims. But here's the thing, the truth in ATL isn't always what it looks like. We've all seen receipts drop before, only for another twist to come out the very next day. So now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Kendra when she says nothing happened with Kirk? Is Kirk really innocent this time? Or is he just better at damage control? And what about Carly? Is she a mastermind, a pawn, or a little bit of both? Drop your thoughts, your theories, your wildest predictions down in the comments. Because the messier the theory, the more we want to read it. And while you're at it, hit that like button if you're living for the drama, because trust me, this story is only getting started. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update, because when the next piece of this puzzle drops, you're going to want to be the first to see it. We've got eyes and ears in the right places, and what's coming next? Let's just say it's going to make this week look like a warm-up. And for my day one viewers who've been riding with me through every messy twist, every shocking reveal, and every fake apology, you already know, we're about to take you inside the storm like nobody else can. So buckle up, ATL, the streets are talking, the cameras are rolling, and the truth is about to crash into the spotlight in a way that nobody's ready for. Stay tuned, because the next chapter isn't just going to break the internet, it's going to set it on fire.